How to tie Tosafos KeShittas Benzion Halberstam Shlita. Basically, it is 7, 8, 11, 13, alternating Tchias Lavan Chuyos. Each Chuya is 3 wines each. And the style of Chuya is going to be done Hasidish, Chabad, Radzin, Babov, V'chulu V'chulu. So let's get started. So basically I'm taking a white string here, and I'm creating a bridge that's where the string is going to go over or under the other 7 strings, and going through the hole here 3 times for 3 winds. 1, 2, 3. And basically what I'm doing now is I am going to pull the end string and the first string in order to tighten it. So the front string I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten it over here, and I'm just going to hold this together with my thumb. Now I'm going to take this string here. If you notice, it's going to pull the front string. So the front string gets tightened. Hold this together with my thumb, and then take the string here and pull opposite. Instead of doing the forward, pull opposite, and then put to the side here. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the tchel string, and what I tend to do, in this case you don't see it so much, but what I tend to do is I tend to cross over tchelas and love and strings. It basically makes things on a more even line. So same thing here, tchelas string, creating a bridge, 3 winds underneath the bridge, like this. Okay, put things in order, and if you notice, for example, that strings aren't in order, you can fiddle around with it so that that's done in order. That way you run into less issues and it looks a lot nicer. So fine. So you have here the same thing with the bridge, taking the last wind, pulling it so that the entire thing gets tightened, and the first one, making sure that this tightens the last one. You're going to see when I pull, it tightens the front wind. Okay. Hold this together with the thumb. Take this, pull the opposite way, and you get the best effect, and then leave to the side. Another thing you might notice is that there's a little bit of a separation here. Now, Halberstam likes the idea that the Rambam seems to imply that there's a separation between chlayas, and he points out that there's a natural separation when you do it this way. And you can see very clearly over here that this is the case, unless you really push it back, and then that's another story. But you can see that it naturally does it on its own. So now I'm going to do that, and now I'm going to do the last wind, lavan. That's going to basically form the first third of the third chuya, which is going to continue in the next set. Okay, so same thing, taking the white string, and if you notice, what I'm doing is I'm crossing over tchelas to the lavan, again keeping it nice and even, more or less a straight line here. This is basically a Sephardi kricha, because it's only one wind underneath, like this. And what I now do is I take 4 strings on one side, 4 strings on the other side. Okay, Hashem mitzvahs tzitzis. Hashem mitzvahs tzitzis. Now, I didn't mention this before, but the way I know which side is done is basically I create a slip knot on one side. For the other side, because I'm only using 2 strings of shamashim, I took the 2 strings that I'm not going to be using for shamashim. I basically made a slip knot over here. So that is how that's how I know which side is which, and which strings to use for winding. So less issues that way. Okay, fine. So we basically just did 1/3 of a chulias. We're going to continue by doing 2 winds over here. Now I was advised that the Ari and Rav Chaim Vital basically allow for a breaking up of chulias, because otherwise it's just physically impossible to do complete chulias at 7, 8, 11, 13 if you think about it. So they allow for the breaking up of chulias for this purpose. Okay. So you have over here, you have 2 winds, same idea. You tighten it over here in the front, you tighten it over here in the back. Hold together with your thumb, and just pull. Leave it to the side, and now we alternate with the tchelas string for the next chulia. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Same idea here. Just going to go a little bit faster because I've explained how things get tightened up. So bear with me. So it tightens up. So now you have a 4th chulia here. Now we're going to do a 5th one, which is going to complete 8 ones here. So basically just 5. Now 5 plus 3 is 8. So we're going to do 3 wind chulia right here in Lavan. 1, 2, 3. Same idea. Okay. Okay, 4 strings here, 4 strings here. Hashem tzitzis. Hashem tzitzis. Okay, so far we're doing good. We have 7 and 8. So now we're going to do 11, and because the last chulia was white, the next chulia is going to be blue. It's going to be tchelas. Okay. Yeah, why did I take the white one first? I have no idea. Fine. So let's do this. As you notice, the nose is still did not get tightened enough to my satisfaction. So I'm just gonna tighten a little bit more. Shem tzitzis. Yeah. Just gonna redo this knot. Happens from time to time. It's normal. One of the nice things is to keep the knots as neat as possible. It definitely helps add to the noi aspect, the beauty aspect. So that's important. So again, it's a very common mistake, which is why I went back to this. Okay, so the next chulia, as mentioned before, is going to be tchelas. So let's take the right string. Okay, same thing here. We're doing a bridge. Okay. 1, 2. And I'm going to go back a little bit, so I'm just going to tighten this a little bit more to keep this bridge a little bit tighter. Okay, done. Okay, so we've just did the Tchilas one. Now we're going to do the Lovin one. This, okay, so far we've done 9 wines, and because we're doing 11, just going to fix this up over here. Because we're doing 11 here, we need to break up the chulya again. So you end up with 2 wines here, and then the remaining 1 wine is going to be in the next set. So 1, 2. Okay, 4 wines here, 4 strings here, 4 strings here, double knot, Shem Tzvas Tzitzis, Shem Tzvas Tzitzis. Now for 13, carry, because we did 2 wines of the last chulya, which was Lavan, we're going to carry over again the white string for the last one. Basically it's a Sephardic kricha because it's 1 wine underneath this bridge. Okay, and now we're taking the Tchilas string for the next chulya. Okay, like this. Okay, next thing we're going to do we're going to do the Lovin one, the white one, and you can see I'm still crossing over. Tchilas 11 to keep it in more or less a straight line. 2, 3. Okay, so that's already 7 wines. We're going to do another couple of chulyas to make 7 plus 6, so it becomes 13. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3. over here, and over here, KeShittas 11, like that. Okay, 3 white wines over here. Okay, so here we have four strings here, 4 strings here. We now have 13 wines. Hashem mitzvahs tzitzis, double knot. Hashem mitzvahs tzitzis for the second knot over here. And so there you have it. I just want to add that what I like to do is, for the last knot of the double knot, is to separate it like bal heater style, so you end up having a beautiful separation between blue and white. So I take the 2 white strings here on one side, 2 white strings here on the other side, have all the chills, and basically just cross over one color over the other color, make it nice and even. So for the second part of the last double knot, I'll do that, and it really adds to the effect. So here you have it. Tosafos KeShittas Harav Benzion Halberstam.